What's going on, Nerd Army? It's time, guys, to review The Flash. So, guys, tonight we had the Flash of Two Worlds episode. This is going to be my review for it, and this was awesome. This is why I love The Flash. This is one of the greatest episodes I've had from this show, and I loved it so much because I'm such a big Flash fan. I love all the old Flash comics, and Jay Garrick is actually one of my favorite Flashes. If you guys haven't seen him, I have done a history of just about all the main Flashes in continuity. They're down in my playlist. Go check them out. But this one, Jay Garrick, at the end of last week, we saw Jay Garrick walk right into Star Labs right after they said no one could break into this place, and they refortified it. Yeah, right. So this episode starts off with Jay Garrick trying to tell his story and try to get them to believe him. I need you guys to listen to me. I need you to help me. I know all of you. So he starts naming off, boom, Cisco, Ramon, Caitlin, Joe, West. And he just starts naming every one of them off. And they're like, well, how do you know us? Well, he's kind of been following them for the last 6 months. But so Jay Garrick has lost his speed. So then he talks about what happened when the singularity portal opened up in his world when it opened up on Earth 1. And then they show his helmet flying through, and then he flies through. But this was during his battle with Zoom. So the battle with Zoom, what apparently happened is Zoom stole his speed. Now, in the comics, the Speed Force is transferable, so stealing the speed of another speedster happens in the comics. So does giving the speed to another speedster. So I'm really excited they're bringing this aspect into The Flash. This was one of my favorite parts. I love everything about the Speed Force, guys. Now, different characters, say, different Zooms, different, Reverse Flashes, some of them don't work directly off the Speed Force, and the one that Zoom is based off of really doesn't go directly off the Speed Force. But for instance, the really, really cool thing that Jay Garrick says, so basically he's talking to Caitlin as she's running tests on him. And she says, you know what? Tell me about what's going on. So he's like, well, this is how I got my powers. I was in my lab, and an accident happened when I was doing an experiment with hard water. As soon as they said that, I jumped up. I'm like, huh! So if you guys don't know, okay, Barry Allen in the comics got his powers by being struck by lightning. So did Wally West. I mean, the difference is Jay Garrick got his powers by experimenting with hard water. So when they said that, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. I was so excited. I was a giddy little schoolgirl when that shit happened. I was like, dope! But, so also in this episode, another thing that made me giddy as hell and made me go back in time when I just love reading some of the Flash comics for the first time is when Professor Stein explains the multiverse to us. So this is awesome. I mean, at first you're like, yeah, parallel universes. No, he's a multiverse would work better. And I'm like, dope. And then they kind of explained it as we're Earth 1. His world, Jay Garrick's world, is Earth 2. When they started naming off, and he's all, and then you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to infinity. Oh my god. I love the multiverse for DC. That's one of my favorite aspects of DC Comics is the multiverse and all the different characters we get throughout it. So being able to really go into that, into the TV show, I was super stoked. That was probably one of my favorite parts. That and the hard water causing Speed Force powers was another one. And then we actually get to see another new character to the series, which is Patty Spivot. And she is an upcoming officer that wants to join Joe's task force for the anti-metahuman task force. So she asked Joe, he's like, no. And then she asked Joe again, no. She asked Joe again, no. She asked, no, fuck, man. She was just getting frustrated with him. And she's being a badass. She caught the dude that came through that they had suspected of starting the fire that the Flash stops at the beginning. But he keeps saying no. So I'm like, God damn it, Joe, just give in to her. She's awesome. She's kicking ass. Not to mention, if you guys did not know, Patty Spivot in the comics actually at one point in time was a speedster. So I'm not saying she's going to be a speedster in this one. You never know, though. The show is awesome. They might do something about it. But she's definitely looks like she's going to be Barry's new love interest, because him and Iris are back to where they're just like friends, and they're best friends and everything. They're close, but I think Patty Spivot has this thing. Like at first, she's like, "Oh, I know. I read a bunch of your reports, and it's just amazing. Like you do such a good job at detailing. It's like you're there." And so I think eventually she's going to find out that Barry's the Flash. Now that she's Joe's partner and in the task force, Joe actually promotes her at the very end of the episode. He says, "See you Monday," and she's like, What's happening Monday?" "I'll see you Monday for the task force, detective." And she's like, "Oh." All right, and then we get to see Zoom pop through one of the portals that's open across Central City that was caused by the Singularity opening up, and drops Sand Demon. He's also the one that brought Atom Smasher last week, and told him, "You gotta go kill the Flash if you want to go home." So he tells Sand Demon the same thing, so Sand Demon's like, "Fuck it, let's go." And hands down, one of the best parts in this episode was when Cisco first vibed out. I felt it coming. I knew he was going to vibe out. I could just feel it about to happen. I was like, Cisco's going to vibe out soon. Because they're talking about all the different multiverses, and Cisco is Vibe. If you guys don't know who Vibe is, I've also done a history on him. Check that out as well. But Cisco, as Vibe, his powers are he can see the vibratory distance in between the worlds. So he can actually see what's going on in Earth 2 or what happened at this point. I mean, he gets to see things. So he gets to use his powers a couple different times. So the first time he's touching the sand from Sand Demon that Patty had given to Barry that she found at the crime scene. And he touches it and he kind of sees Barry fighting Sand Demon like when it happened. So he's seeing from like the aspect of Sand Demon, I'm guessing, like off to the side, but he's there. He can see it all, which is crazy. I mean, it's awesome. Cisco's like, what the hell? And then he sees Barry get like clocked by Sand Demon. I mean, it was really cool. And then later on, he actually uses his powers again. He's going through and like they're trying to find out where Sand Demon's hiding Patty, because Barry's training with Jay Garrick to get ready to fight Sand Demon. So he goes and he just voluntarily just touches the sand again. He's just like, boom, and he pops in there and he's walking around looking for his clues where he can find something to let him know where they're at. And that was awesome. I loved how he's starting to use his powers, not just like accidentally. He went ahead and used it. So someone right off the bat at that point was suspect. That's Martin Stein. He's like, "I know where they are. I know where they are." He's like, "Well, that's how?" He's all, "It's a hunch." Later on, he has another hunch, and Martin Stein's all, "That's 2 hunches in one day. So you gonna tell me what's going on with you, Cisco?" And he's like, "I'm starting to see things. I'm starting to see things, and I don't want to see them," and all this other stuff. And he says, "Well, the Reverse Flash told me I was going to see these. Harrison Wells told me this was my future, and he created me and gave me these powers. So he's an evil guy, and I don't want my powers or whatever they are to come from an evil place, and I just feel that I want you to keep this quiet." So Stein agrees to keep it quiet from everyone else while they try to figure it out. But he's like terrified of his powers, and I really want Cisco just to let loose and become Vibe. He is an awesome character, guys. So Sand Demon doesn't know that Jay Garrick's alive, let alone doesn't have his Speed Force. So this whole time, Barry and Jay have been training so Barry can run so fast that he generates a ton of lightning in his super speed, and he uses it as like a lightning bolt. And Cisco calls it the Zeus move. He's like, "You about to pull a Zeus on this guy?" So yeah, he can eventually, if he can harness enough lightning, he can grab it and use it as a weapon and throw it at him. So they're training on this. Barry just can't get it, but Jay tells him, "You know what? I believe in you. I know you can do it." So Cisco comes and says, "Hey guys, I know where they're at." And he's all, "Well, he doesn't know you don't have your super speed. Do you have your costume?" He's like, "Yeah, everything but my helmet." And Caitlin's like, "Your helmet?" And Caitlin walks out with the helmet and puts it on. And he's like, "Oh." Jay Garrett's back. But he still doesn't have his speed. So they go there to the warehouse where she's being held, and there's a sonic bomb on the bottom of the chair. So he tells him, like, he uses those on me in the past, so I know what he's all about. So basically, Jay Garrick goes up there and just stands there, and he's going to be the distraction. So Sand Demon starts whooping his ass, just boom, boom. He's like, "You don't have your speed here." Boom, just smacking him around. Once he realizes, and he's distracted fully, Barry just jams in there, grabs Patty, spins around, and then just boom, here goes the sonic grenade. Just kind of goes off, and launches them all away, and the Sand Demon's just like, just glorified, it's just blowing the sand off him, and he isn't affected by it. So she's alive. Barry gets up, starts jamming around this fool because he's choking Jay out. Starts jamming around this fool, harnesses the lightning, just throws it straight at him, right through him. The lightning hitting the sand, turning it to glass. It hits the floor, and so guys, is it just me or has Barry killed 2 metahumans? Damn, he's killing Earth 2 metahumans. I'm pretty sure they didn't show what happened to Atom Smasher, but I'm pretty sure he fucking killed that dude last episode. And then this one, he just turned to glass and shattered his ass. So Barry's fucking killing metahumans. This is crazy. Or let me know if you guys think differently, but that's what I think. But other than that, some other really crazy things happen. So Joe asked Patty, after all this goes down and Barry saved the day and Patty's back at the precinct, he's like, you shouldn't be here, you need to rest. She's like, I'm fine, don't worry about me. She's walking through and he's like, I gotta ask you, I was doing some research on anyone that wants to join my task force, and I came across the name. And she had a connection with Weather Wizard that we had met in the first season. So he asked her, like, you got to tell me about this. So it turns out that Weather Wizard and his brother had killed her dad over a few $100s. He was a local shop owner, and they went to go rob him, shot him in the face. So what happened after that? Right after that happened, they got superpowers. So she feels that she needs to be there to try to take down these bad people that got these abilities that don't deserve them. So that's why she wants to join the task force. So that's when Joe tells her, you know what, I'm going to promote you. See you on Monday, detective, and that's awesome. But there was another really, really awesome thing that happened that just popped out at me and made me a little giddy schoolgirl again. So if you guys don't know, the New 52 relaunch happened in 2011 for the DC comic book universe, and in this they reference that not only is there one portal that was opened up across Central City, there are 52 portals. So right when they said that, I'm like, New 52! They're throwing references out, guys. That was really, really awesome. And they're all connected to Earth 2 from what we know. I mean, they don't exactly say that, but you never know. Maybe they're connected to other ones. But that's how Zoom is bringing these villains in to fucking kill the Flash. So he could be the only speedster everywhere. All in all, guys, this was a great episode. The episode actually ended with another scene from Earth 2. They were walking through Star Labs, and this lady was giving these kids a tour through Star Labs, talking about how Star Labs is the future, and this, that, and the other, and then she's like, oh my god, guys, we're going to have a great treat. We're having a great treat in this one. You get to meet the man who saved Central City, Harrison Wells. And I was just like, it's Harrison Wells, guys. Now, a lot of people are suspecting who Zoom is. Some people are saying he's a good guy in the future that just goes ape shit. But me personally, I think it's fucking Harrison Wells from Earth 2. I mean, why not? I know Harrison Wells wasn't the real Reverse Flash last season. It was Eobard Thawne disguised as Harrison Wells. But what's to say the other Harrison Wells from Earth 2 just isn't a bad motherfucker and he isn't Zoom? Let me know what your guys' theories on who Zoom is. Let me know down in the comments below, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like, thumbs up button if you would be so kind. And make sure you smash that subscribe button to keep up with me and all the Flash reviews I do every single week, guys. I'm Andrew. You have been watching Nerds Memorized. Peace out. Hey guys, if you like what you saw and you want to see more, make sure you go click that big, sexy subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time right here on Nerds Memorized.